Hello, and welcome to Production Operations and Logistics Management Overview by Clay Marchetti, Thang Tran, and Victoria Santiago. The purpose for operation management is to produce goods and services effectively while being able to meet customer demands. The strategic role for operation management is refining operational effectively is the most important way to make sure you meet all the organizational contribution goals and maintain affordability. Supply chain management involves identifying who are the best suppliers to work with, working towards filling the order, and by making the production of the goods, along with serving the items, delivering, and being able to do all returns of any defective items. Production operations would work on the center efficiency of making the product and working on production and quality. Strategy works with the process design and production systems working with how the products are made. This includes the deliveries, workflow, and automation along with the facility layout. The establishing standards feedback loop. This is a way for a guarantee that the product and service meet customers' expectations. When looking at the business strategy, there are many things to look at the standardization, along with waste reduction. To have high quality products while having greater quality control. When we look at functional strategies, they involve marketing. They work with the operations to run special and make sure they are able delivery. Human resources, they look for employees with specific technical qualifications. Looking at the finances, they make sure they keep the capital controlled and financial constraints along with ROI goals. Discovery has many key activities that they work with. Marketing research is when they work on having surveys for people to complete and then do an analysis to see if it is something customers want. They also need to have an innovation that is based on customers' points about the product and then make a final decision if it is a go. The strategy of execution would be next if it is a go on the product. They would need to make a prototype model and test the technical viability. Now need to put the product through validation and testing, which would include functional safety and that it meets all quality standards. The strategy of commercialization, this is called the launching phase, where you will introduce the finished product to the market. Processes can handle several customer requests and are very flexible. The cons are they get high cost per unit, lower for efficiency along with complex scheduling. This organization key characteristics are that it is intangibility and that the service given is not an object that can be touched. Synchronized production along with consumption because the services are created at the precise moment that it is consumed by the client. Also includes high customization, more involvement with customer relations, and more labor intensive due to relying on having more human labor. The key characteristics for manufacturing organization is that they are items made that can be inventoried and stored along with be transported to the customer. These items are done in large quality that ensure for constant quality. There is low customer interaction which allows for standardized production processes. Supply chain flowchart starting with purchasing outbound delivery is a vital strategic tool that works to transform complex, fragmented information into a very clear visual roadmap to move forward with your business plan. Suppliers are different from traditional manufacturing suppliers because they are more involved in helping a company operate effectively. In a lean system, suppliers deliver smaller amounts more often, which supports just-in-time production and reduces inventory. They are also expected to provide consistent quality and work with the company on continuous improvement. This usually creates a long-term partnership based on trust and communication. Traditional suppliers, on the other hand, often focus more on price, large batch shipments, and standard contract terms. The relationship with the company is usually more transactional and less collaborative. Overall, lean suppliers play a more active role in supporting flow, reducing waste, and improving quality across the supply chain. ISO 9000 and the Baldrige Award criteria are both important in quality management, but they have different purposes. ISO 9000 is a set of international standards that focuses on building a consistent quality management system. It requires organizations to document procedures, train employees, keep records, and follow a process that can be audited. Their certification is based on the process, not on the product itself. The Baldrige criteria are broader and focus on total organizational performance. They look at leadership, strategy, customer focus, operations, and results. In simple terms, ISO 9000 is about meeting process standards, while Baldrige is about achieving overall excellence and long-term success. Chapter 9 focuses on how companies design quality control systems and use Lean and Six Sigma to improve processes. Quality control is about maintaining stable processes so output stays consistent over time. One important tool is Statistical Process Control, or SCP, which uses data and control charts to measure process performance and identify problems before they become serious. The chapter also explains Six Sigma, which is a structured process improvement method that uses the DMAIC steps: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Lean and Six Sigma are related but different. Lean focuses on reducing waste and improving flow, while Six Sigma focuses on reducing defects and variation through data and statistical analysis. Many companies combine both approaches because they work well together and can improve quality, efficiency, and customer satisfaction. Chapter 10 explains how forecasting helps businesses make better operational decisions. Forecasting is important for areas like capacity planning, scheduling, inventory management, and aggregated planning. The chapter shows that there is not just one forecasting method. Companies use different methods depending on the time frame, the kind of data available, and the type of decision being made. Some methods are qualitative, like expert judgment and market surveys, while others are quantitative, such as time series and casual models. Forecast accuracy is also important, so companies track errors, biases, and deviation to see how reliable their forecasts are. The chapter also highlights how advanced forecasting is improving through big data and supply chain collaboration. For example, CPFR helps suppliers and customers share information to reduce forecasting errors and improve planning. Chapter 11 focuses on the different costs involved in aggregate planning. Aggregate planning is used to balance supply and demand over the medium term while keeping total costs as low as possible. Some of the main costs include hiring and layoff costs, which come from recruiting, training, severance, and related expenses. Overtime and undertime costs also matter because they affect labor productivity and payroll expenses. Labor carrying costs are important as well, since storing products adds costs like storage, capital, and possible obsolescence. Companies may also face subcontracting costs if outside firms are used to meet demand. In addition, part-time labor and stockout or back order costs can affect customer service and profitability. Managers compare different planning strategies such as level production, overtime, and chase strategies to find the most practical and cost-effective option. Chapter 12 explains that scheduling systems are used to assign limited resources to jobs, activities, tasks, or customers. A good scheduling system must balance several goals at once, including efficiency, low inventory, and strong customer service. Because resources are limited, managers need to make trade-offs when deciding what should be done and when. The chapter highlights 4 major questions every scheduling system should answer: what delivery date should be promised, where the bottleneck is, when each job or task should begin, and how to ensure the job is completed on time. Several tools can help with these decisions, including Gantt charts, finite scheduling, and dispatching rules. Overall, an effective scheduling system helps organizations use resources better, reduce delays, and improve service performance. One of the most essential concepts in project management is the critical path. This outlines the sequence of actions that dictates how long a project will take. Since there is no extra time allocated for these activities, any interruption will cause the project as a whole to be delayed. On the other hand, slack refers to the flexibility of non-critical work, which can be rescheduled without impacting its final deadline. Managers can direct resources as needed, particularly towards crucial tasks, by having a thorough understanding of slack. Through this, bottlenecks are avoided and efficiency is increased. Managers can prioritize work and maintain timeliness by keeping an eye on the critical path. All things considered, both ideas are necessary for efficient project management and planning. Vendor Managed Inventory, or VMI, transfers inventory management responsibilities to the vendor rather than the buyer. The supplier keeps an eye on stock levels and determines when to refill rather than the business making orders. Real-time data sharing is a key component of this system, which enables the vendor to react quickly in response to fluctuations in demand. One of VMI's main benefits is that it increases efficiency by lowering excess inventory and stockouts. Additionally, it helps reduce the buyer's ordering and administrative expenses. Furthermore, VMI improves supplier-customer cooperation, resulting in more dependable supply chains. All things considered, it is a reasonable method for raising service standards and inventory control. Production processes and inventories are planned and managed using an MRP system in order to meet production demands. It guarantees that sufficient supplies are available at the correct time. The master production schedule specifies what must be produced, the bill of materials enumerates all necessary components, and inventory records keep track of available stock. These are the three main inputs that the system depends on. The MRP system determines what materials are required and when based on these inputs. Planned order releases, scheduling updates, and exception reports that point out possible problems are among the outputs. These results support managers in maintaining effective operations and making well-informed decisions. In general, MRP enhances production and inventory management coordination. Effectiveness, customer service standards, product quality, and delivery speed are common metrics used to determine supply chain success. These metrics help businesses in assessing the effectiveness of their supply chain. However, supply chains are also vulnerable to hazards such as demand fluctuations, natural disasters, and supplier interruptions. The speed and efficiency at which supply chains can bounce back from these setbacks is referred to as resilience. A supply chain that is resilient can adjust to unforeseen changes without suffering significant losses. Companies minimize risk by diversifying their suppliers, keeping safety stock, and utilizing flexible transportation. Risk identification and management are increasingly dependent on technology and data analytics. In general, long-term success depends on striking a balance between durability and efficiency. Businesses employ outsourcing and offshore services as a tactic to increase productivity and cut expenses. While offshoring relocates such operations to another nation, outsourcing entails employing outside companies to carry out specific corporate tasks. One significant advantage is cost savings, especially when labor is cheaper in other areas. These tactics also enable businesses to access specialized knowledge and concentrate more on their core capabilities. There are drawbacks, though, such as diminished operational control and possible communication obstacles brought on by distance or cultural differences. Inadequate maintenance of standards may also lead to quality problems. Furthermore, there are dangers associated with outsourcing, including currency fluctuations, political unpredictability, and transit delays. Before choosing to outsource or go global, businesses must carefully consider these benefits and drawbacks. Domestic logistics. Global logistics is far more complex because it focuses on the transportation of commodities across international borders. Regular access to international markets and a greater variety of suppliers at reduced prices is one significant benefit. However, there are drawbacks to global logistics as well, like lengthier lead times and higher transit costs. Businesses also have to deal with complicated rules such as trade restriction tariffs and custom processes. These elements may add to the supply chain's uncertainty and cause delays. Coordinating across a variety of legal systems, softwares, and cultures can also be difficult. Careful planning, effective communication, and dependable partners are necessary for successful global logistics. Despite its intricacy, it is essential to the global economy of today.